Hello, my friends, and welcome to a very special occasion today. I have Leah Sparrow with me today, and this
Woo!
lady knows her stuff. Welcome to the Paradigm Changers Business Quest personal interview. And I am so happy to have Leah here with me today because this girl is smart. And if you have some questions, if you have some queries, if you have some wonderations that you have absolutely must have an answer to, Leah is your girl. Welcome, Leah. Tell us about yourself.
Well, that I'm smart. I'm smart today.
Can you live up to it, girl?
Woohoo! Rumor has it.
Rumor.
Or am I just really good at pretending I know stuff? No.
You need to give it
It's
back.
yeah. No, I'm actually celebrating quite a bit today. I mean, I got
Beautiful,
to see the compound effect in action today with one of my clients.
beautiful.
She has been through the valley of doom. I mean,
No, no.
as an entrepreneur, especially when you're starting out, or if you're just in your first couple of years, you go through the valley of doom quite a few times.
You do.
But the Valley of Doom, you start out all excited about your businesses. Yay, yay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to make money. I'm going to work from home, create this amazing thing that's going to change lives. And
Right?
then you start doing it and you get the pessimistic, uninformed
Keep going.
entrepreneurial mindset BS. And then you're in the
Yeah,
Valley of Doom.
yep, yep.
And the Valley of Doom is where 80% of people give up. That's where
That is.
everybody, 80% just says, I give up. And the Valley of
I
Doom
think
is where you're
90%.
actually in the trenches learning how to do the thing, and you're going to hear a
That's
lot
right.
of no's. A
That's
lot
right.
of
Not to give
rejection is
up. Don't give
happening
up in
there.
the valley of doom. That's where you need to keep
Don't
going.
give up in the Valley of Doom. So the other thing is on the other side of the Valley of Doom is this little hill that's more informed optimism. And informed optimism is beautiful. It's where you start to learn about yourself, your mindset, your business. You start seeing some momentum, and then you get to the top of the hill
Yeah.
and you're like, yay! And then you go through the Valley of Doom again. But
Right?
the Valley of Doom, my goal is to always make that Valley of Doom a little less dippy, because the
Hmm.
Valley of Doom is actually where you're entering a space of growth,
That's
and
right.
it's scary, and you're in and you get imposter syndrome, you get fear of missing
Yep.
out, you get shining
Brutal.
object syndrome. All the things happen right there.
Yep. Yep.
And as you get more and more able as an entrepreneur and more experience, that Valley of Doom becomes less of a Valley of Doom and more of
That's right.
I'm just doing a thing. Hey Sharon, thanks for joining us. Thanks so much for joining. If you have any questions, I'll be answering them at the end of this live. So, if you've got some questions, let me know. I'll be happy to give you some free coaching today. I am
No,
giving free coaching today.
how's that?
So, that being said, she went through the Valley of Doom, and I was right there with her going, I promise it's going to happen. And then she signed 5 people on, and she's got more and more people just today before noon. Today she's got
Beautiful.
more people
Beautiful.
walking up to her asking her about her services and getting notices on it. And she was like, "Oh my god, it really works." I was like, "Yes." It's those little tiny steps that you have to take while
That's
you're
all.
building the damn thing so that you can move that needle closer to your goals, and it gets easier every time until you hit that thing that's like that where you need the support, a little more support. That's why I'm there with you throughout your entire journey. Yes, I'd like to see you have less and less support. So is Dean, less and less support as
Yep.
you go. But it's always going to be something that makes you go, it's not working. And we always tend to go, what's the shiny object over here? And one of the shiny objects usually is the damn digital course, which drives me crazy, because
Yep.
then that has our newbies and some of our newer entrepreneurs creating something for 6 7 months with no income in their business.
That's right.
And that's what I'm here to talk about today, is because that I created a digital course. I've already been there.
Me too. I did it too. You know what? I think
Yeah,
everybody has to. I think that's the first valley of doom. To be honest with you, is in
it
that place
is.
where you're going. Why isn't anybody buying what I created? I put so much time and effort
There's
into
so
it.
much stress on it too, because you made this beautiful thing and nobody's
Right?
buying it and you don't understand
But it's a
why.
beautiful baby of
They
mine.
said they would buy it.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Yeah.
buying it.
Right. And that's simply a fact that you didn't do any market research and you imagined what the market needed rather than
Well, I
asking.
did do I did do some market research, but
Okay.
here's where the it was needed. The problem was is that as I started delivering it, and what happened is I got somebody who, this is a rarity. I got a client who was full on. in every single, I had groups and a Facebook group, the whole 9 yards with this digital course. And then I turned it into a one-on-one with him because he would come in there with questions. He had done the work and he was really asking some questions because he wasn't clear. I was like, wow, I need to take this off the table and really sit with some people and find the gap between here and there so that I can help them better. And so Sharon said, yep, been there many times. And I don't know why I can relate to what you're saying because it's entrepreneurship. That's why. So I'm going to get to the point real quick, Dean, but is there anything you wanted to ask me first? Or
Well, you've done a great job of introducing yourself and the way you think about things and your mindset towards business.
I'm very much let's look at this thing you're doing and
Yes.
see if we can't make it easier.
100%. 100%. Now, what I was going to do was just ask you some soft questions to kind of frame your character a little bit. For example, what's your favorite word?
You mean they can't tell what kind of person I am right now?
They can, but they want to go deep, don't you think?
Well, my favorite word is not, it's not kid friendly.
Oh, this is an adult show. You can go right ahead. If it's an F-bomb, drop it.
My favorite word is fuck. It is. I cannot not say it sometimes.
It's so fucking descriptive.
I know. It is the most agile word in our English language.
Right? So having said that,
and it can be understood
oh my goodness,
by anyone
worldwide
at any time.
It's global, right? It's even foreign language friendly. Right?
Everybody knows what.
Right. So having gone through that,
say.
Right
now, what?
What's your least favorite word, though, Leah?
I can't.
No. Is it cathartic?
It's can't. No. It's can't.
Oh,
can't.
Okay.
Can't. That is my least favorite word. Is can't.
Very good. I can't. I agree 100%. I misunderstood you there. I didn't realize. I have so dropped that word myself.
I know. That's the one. That's it. I can't.
Right?
And,
so
and
now
it's one that does a lot of things. I can't. I mean, it's.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
It fits a lot of bills, and sadly, they're all negligent bills. They're all negative. And the irony is that's one of the.
I mean, there's moments where you can say I can't do it that way, but I will find another way. That's better than just I can't.
100%. And can't is such it's a very, very firm step into the negative.
And instead of saying I can't, you can say I will not do it that way. This is the way it works for my business.
That's right. And there you go. And of course, now we're talking about stuff that we either we agree with or disagree with. So in that vein, so to speak, what would you say turns you on? And I'm not talking about
well, I didn't know we were going there.
What fires you up, if you want me to put it that way?
What gets me fired up is, and I'll just give you an example because I am like mama bear with my clients. I mean, I'm like mama bear. I love my clients. I love seeing them win. I also am there for them every step of the way. And of course, my clients go through moments where they go look and see what somebody else is doing, right? I'm sure you've been there. It's the shiny object syndrome. So it's like herding cats. Get back over here. That is shiny object syndrome. Don't do that. So anyway,
I got 2 cats and I can herd them.
She told me something that a client and some people may disagree with me, that a coach had told her that was successful to do. And I've heard this type of I don't know what you'd call it, thing to do to try to get people to sign on with you and things like this. What it basically was this person is offering Starbucks to get on a call with her, a sales call. I do not agree with this. Here's why, is because it diminishes your authority. In other words, you're saying, I can't get people on a call with me, so I'm going to bribe them. And so if you remember back in the old days, I'm sure Dean knows this, back in the old days when they would have conferences or the fair or whatever, and all the businesses would be at the table, what was the number one thing that you always heard when you were the group going to go see everybody at their tables? The number one thing you always found out was who was giving away what at what table.
Yep. Yeah. Is there coffee and donuts?
Yes. So you could go to the one you actually wanted to talk to.
Right.
So the the way you get past this, what that is this, I'm getting no left and right, nothing's working. The fact of the matter is that the average conversion rate is 1%.
Yep.
So 95% of people are going to tell you no.
Yep.
That's it.
It's a matter of numbers, and
Own
we
it.
know we're sorting, not convincing, and that's the catch.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to sort, not convince, be of service first.
Yep.
But that goes back to where we are with selling a course before you create it. And so you really have to know the person that you're targeting when you're doing that. And yes, this goes back to branding, niche definement, all of that, but it's more than just the I help X do X so they can X part.
Yep.
It's really understanding who they are and where they are in life. So some of us tend to target, and I've noticed this, we tend to target the person that is just below actually the person that we need to target, because that's our safety zone, is to take on the really baby beginner. But many times the baby beginner, the person who's not making any money, is not going to be your ideal person. Why? Because they can't pay you.
Exactly.
So you really have to define that. And part of that, in order to attract that person that you really want, is speaking their language.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes in the form of the problem that you solve.
It does.
So now, when you're talking about the problem that you solve, you have to think about it on these terms. Now, I always use the weight loss industry because they're perfect for the tangible part of the problem that you solve. Now, the transformation that they're making is pretty similar to every transformation that every single solitary coach offers out there, bringing more confidence, reducing the overwhelm. And, the third one's always a little bit vague, but with weight loss people, it's, a healthier lifestyle, living a freer lifestyle, and all that kind of stuff. So that sounds familiar with a lot of niches out there. So if you're all saying the same thing about, I'm going to give you more confidence, I'm going to empower you, I'm going to get rid of your overwhelm, you're going to have more clarity, all of that. But why, what, how are you going to bring that to them? So for Dean and I, the way that we reduce the overwhelm and bring confidence and empower somebody is through clients, booking people, helping you find your ideal client and creating a service that you absolutely love and adore. But you have to learn how to sell. If you're in your first year of business, or you haven't accomplished this yet, you need to learn how to sell consistently.
Yep.
And the way that you do that is by understanding that the problem you solve for somebody. And there's 3 ways that people always want a problem solved for them. One is money is the driving force behind the problem. That's Dean and I. Money is the driving force behind the people that we serve. That's the thing that's keeping them from being confident, empowered, and clear on where they want to go, is money. Others, it can be relationships. It can be self-care. It can be, do-it-yourself kind of things. It's money, relationships, and self-care. So the weight loss industry is in the self-care industry, is in the self-care category. That's what they're hitting up. It's the self-care category.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've defined your problem, now you go back into that transformation where you're going lack confidence, overwhelm, all of that. 3 main pain points that you want to address with your program. Okay. And like I said, most of the time, everybody's got the same kind of 3 main pain points, just like overwhelm, lack confidence, that sort of thing. So once you do that, then you look at those 3 main pain points and you switch them into something positive. So if they lack confidence, you're going to make them confident. If they lack overwhelm, you're going to give them clarity, right? So now what? Okay, well, now you already know what your program is. You don't have to create a program. If you have a service that you want to provide, you do not need to create the program before you sell it.
That's right.
What you need to understand is, how does your program transform them from lack of confidence to confident?
That's it.
That's how you do it. And so you sit down and you know more than 4 ways that you help them become more confident, 4 ways that you give them more clarity, 4 ways. Okay. And that's when you understand that, then you have an outline of how you should deliver your program, a basic bird's eye view of how to deliver your program. And then you start selling it. What you've got when you do that is you have your message for your program. Now, the next question might be, how in the world do I deliver something that I haven't made yet?
Right.
That's how
No,
you just deliver it. So
that's
what
it.
you do, what you can do though is that if you have like the first 2 weeks already thought up in your mind, which usually you have your starting point that you want to do with every one of your clients, and
Yep.
in some cases this might be an assessment, this might be an audit of your business to see where it stands, or just an overall view of where they are, so
Yep.
that you can plan out their journey with you. That may be the first step. Okay. So you can go ahead and do why they need to know this, 3 reasons about what it is, and a little story and how you're going to do that. There's your first lesson of the day.
That's it.
You can
100%.
stay a week ahead of them. The reason why you're doing this is because everybody learns differently and in different ways, and hears things differently and perceives things differently and learns differently. So
Yes.
you might have somebody that completely 100% can pick up what you're trying to say, but then you
Yep.
get somebody else who doesn't get it. So that's why I have different resources for different types of clients, because they may not completely pick up on what I'm trying to say with this graphic organizer or this way of doing it. So now we got to try it this way so that they fully understand what I'm trying to get across to them. Also, you're going to have people in there that have gifts in certain areas and aspects that really are strong points for them
Yep.
in relationship to the transformation you're trying to create. So they don't necessarily need as much support there. They may need more support here.
Yes. Yep.
So you also find out how somebody goes through the journey that you're providing for them.
Yes.
And
100%.
what ends up is you have all of these resources, and over time you'll realize there's the general database of resources that can create your digital course.
Yes. FAQs.
Yeah. That it's going to be your go-to gold mine for, okay, these are going to be the things that the people that want to do, learn on their own. I can create that course. But the thing is that if you jump from one-on-one to digital course, you're going to be causing a lot of panic on your end, because you also have to learn how to sell your services. That's the thing. So when you get it, the more people you talk to one-on-one, you start off with one-on-one, the more people you talk to one-on-one, the more of an idea of what you need to do inside your program. So you start out with mine is always start out with a one-on-one. If I'm starting with somebody who doesn't have a program at all, we go
Yep.
one-on-one first, and then you get some income into your business. You get several months so that you can scale to groups, so that you can scale to the digital course. And what you might find out, and I've had this happen with a lot of my clientele, you might find out, oh, wait a minute, digital course doesn't suit my vision for my business. Or, well, I want to do groups, or I want to do a hybrid of groups and a digital
1-on-1.
course, or I want to do a hybrid of groups and one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
You start realizing that your business can be your business, not somebody
Yep.
else's idea of what a business should
That's
be.
right. That's right. That's right. And the beautiful thing is that when you uh, take your time and practice what you're talking about, because it's the only real way to build a coaching business and many other businesses as well. Because when you imagine what the market needs, that's imaginary. That's not real. And when you get on these one-on-one calls, like you said, you're getting the truth from the market, from your niche.
Well, as you know, Russell Brunson has said this, and Dan
Yep.
Kennedy, they've said that the only opinion that matters is a paying client's opinion. I think
That's
even
right.
Gary Vee has said that.
Yep.
So that's the thing, is that you've got to get them into your services. And if you're doing a digital course, you have less contact
That's right.
with that human being. And
Mm-hmm.
I realized, I mean, yes, I did a digital course, but mine is now one-on-one, and I can't tell you how many business coaches jump into my thing. Oh, well, why, you could scale faster. Yeah, but I love the intimate nature
Yeah. Yeah.
of my program. I like being in the trenches, because the number one complaint that I've gotten, and you may have gotten this too, Dean, is that they get into those big, group, like the big group courses and things on how to build your business, and they never talk to the coach.
Yeah. Yes.
Never to get a chance to ask the person that they actually want to know from not their knowledge. They never have contact with them.
Yep.
So my
100%.
people, I mean, I've got some clients that absolutely abuse me in the messenger, but they also understand that I will not answer them until I'm ready. But I
Right.
do answer them in a timely manner, and I celebrate with them, and I get upset with them, and I not upset with them, but I get upset with yeah, I'm
Along
mad
the
at it too. I don't like it either. Let's
yeah.
get mad
Yep.
together. You know,
Now that's not a
let's
pity
cry and
party,
have
just to
shiny
be clear.
object syndrome together. But I'm also that person that I'm the guide that says, why do you want to do that? Why do you think now is
Yeah,
a time? Well, here's what that involves. This is what you're really looking at. Do you think you have the time and the resources to do that right now?
exactly.
So I'm
Exactly.
that kind of person that comes along. So if you're wanting to go ahead and do this coaching thing, do not sit for hours trying to build your course. Just freaking
Exactly.
sell it. And if you need support with how to sell something that you haven't even created yet, pick a coach on this screen. And I mean, I can help you do it in 90 minutes. To be honest, I can help you have an idea of how to sell something how to sell your offer. There's a difference between your offer and your program.
That's
There's your
right.
sales offer, which is what you market out to people. It's the problem that you solve. It's the thing that you do for people. It's talking about it. Your message in marketing so that you can deliver the program and discover the real structure of your program. And it doesn't take long. It really doesn't take that many clients to discover this is what I like. I want, and if you want to move it to groups, that's fine. You can, have a coach that shows you how to turn your one-on-ones into a group coaching situation,
Yep.
or how to take your group coaching situation and turn it into a digital course. It's a
Yep.
scaling thing. It's not a, hey, you need to do this right now thing.
That's right. That's right.
It's really not.
And talk about for a few minutes about the advice that you would give to someone that's trying to pursue a career like ours, and they're just out of college, or they've never started a business before. What would be the one thing that you would guide
They've
them
never
to
been to
do or not do?
college.
No, no, they're just
Is what
finishing
you said?
college, and they
Oh,
want to get it.
like
They
my
want to start
son.
their own. Yeah, they want to start their own business. Well, there you go, perfect opportunity. What did you tell your son?
I have thought about that. He's a mathematician,
Uh-huh.
and there's so many things you can do with math, and it's a scaling thing. Hey, how are you doing? I have worked with him before. He
Cool.
is an online teacher, leadership speaking for impact. We'll just say his name that he's used for this particular live, and he is someone. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe his first name is Chris. I've worked with him before. He's someone who sat and built the digital course for a long period of time, but he's also an online teacher. So that's somebody who kind of knows the system that needs to take place, but at the same
Yep.
time, it can
Mm-hmm.
still slow you down. What I would tell somebody if they're just out of college and they want to do the work from home thing, hell, you don't even have to go to college to do this, to be honest.
No, you don't. You do not.
You
You do
don't.
not.
So,
They
I
won't teach
mean,
you
a
anything
perfect
about it in
example of
college.
that is you really don't. The perfect
Yeah.
example of that is one of my clients. He's actually an English professor, but what he does for people has nothing to do really with he uses his background in English to do it, but it's more of he is a life coach type that is helping a very specific person in his community
Yep.
overcome a very specific trauma in their life, and he has overcome it, which is very rare for this
Mm-hmm.
particular niche. And he had a lot of imposter syndrome with that. So that's the first thing you have to do is, it doesn't matter whether you've gone to college or not. It's what are you trying to do for your people?
Yep.
And then owning your experience counts.
Big time.
So my son has tutored people in math. He has, and he's also been a teacher's assistant. He's helped many people. So he already is doing the thing. You have to own it. You're already doing the thing.
Right.
I changed my business's name partly thanks to Leah. She helped me to go back to my original idea. Yeah. Maybe more confident. I definitely waste time. I know. That's what we do, isn't it? That's the shiny object syndrome in action right there. We sit there and we go, and imposter syndrome, battling each other. That's what I'm talking about. We think we have to make something big and huge. Business is simple. You already have what you need to
Yep.
build the business. You
Yes.
already have the knowledge. I went through it myself. I was like, how can I help people with building their business? Blah, blah, blah. When I first started out, when I'm not, this thing, I was in the valley of doom. This thing's not even working. How can I help?
Right.
But the thing is that ever since the early 90s, I've been helping businesses with all aspects of their business. I was in radio. I created a tracking tool that helped the sales staff increase their sales. Like they couldn't, it was like their number one selling tool. So I've been creating flyers for businesses so they can advertise their services. I've been helping businesses with their websites. I've been helping people with their branding through, back in the old days, it was business cards, hi,
Yes, I
Gen
do.
X.
Yeah.
So,
Boomer. I would have
it's
boomer.
just translated to online is all it is. You're just taking what you already know and just do it. That's what creates the imposter syndrome is
It does.
you're using a different way and you're actually going to go a little bit beyond your comfort zone in order to do the damn thing.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
for teachers, which that's where I started out with the Edupreneur, and now I'm helping all sorts of businesses. I've got one that makes millions of dollars in revenue every year. And he goes through the same thing. They have shiny object syndrome. I'm like, why do you want to jump over here when you know this works? So shiny object syndrome and imposter syndrome, they battle each other constantly. And what it is our little reptilian brains absolutely 100% believe that it has to be new and unique in order for it to work, and it doesn't. Business is simple. And so if you track what you're currently doing inside of your business, you will find that 20% that works. And that's why selling your offer before you have it created works, is because it's a way of tracking your results.
Yep.
It's a way of finding out what works inside of your program. You also get to discover what else your clientele want.
Right.
Inside 100%. Of that program. That it gives you an idea of how to help them renew. So here's the thing that I find with a lot of coaches out there is you think that there is one program that you needed that's 12 weeks long that you need to deliver, but you cannot teach everything you know in 12 weeks.
No way.
Because everybody has to go step by step by step, and you don't want to overwhelm them and fire hose them with your zone of genius. And believe me, I can fire hose the crap out of people.
I love the fire hose. Are you kidding?
Let's overwhelm the crap out of somebody. So you need to start one step at a time. So if you're going to do this, my suggestion for you, your homework is to define your problem. Find out the 3 pain points on top of that. I know we're jumping around a little bit today, but I'm trying to see our subject matter today was how to sell your damn program before you even create it. Find out the 3 pain points that you make a transformation for, and what are the ways that you make that transformation happen.
Yep.
And that's what you talk about all the time on social media. But you're going to break it down into tiny little itty bitty steps, because this is just like one thing that I do in my program. This is just one thing. We talk about what do you want to do? We start out with a plan and say, you're not going to find, there's not a coach out there that doesn't.
Yep.
To be honest. The difference is how we support you and how we create the results. You can find this. I mean, I'm going to be straight up with you. You can find all this information out there on YouTube for free. Yes. The difference is the coach that sits there with you and helps you through it. Mm-hmm. And explains to you why you're going through this moment where you're like, well, this isn't working. It's not happening for me. It's not working. And we are there to go, look, you have got to keep this is normal, dude. I mean, I don't know about you, but when you're a new I see this with my clients, my newbies. I take on newbies, but I do have the ones that have been in for 10 years making millions of revenue and all that.
Thankfully.
So I have all those people too.
Right.
So, I mean, so obviously my services will take you from point A and keep going. And
Yep.
and it's up to you if you want to stay on with me or Dean if you're working with Dean. But the fact of the matter is that when you're first starting out and you're trying to build, and Dean, you probably noticed this when you first started.
Yep.
If you're doing it well, you're going to start getting hit up by people that are like the freebie seekers, the
Mhm.
appointment
Tire kickers.
setters, the other
Tire kickers.
coaches,
Right.
the what I call, I hate to say it this way, it's like the sludge that's coming in. It's like you're turning on the tap, and when you turn on a tap that hasn't been on for a long time, the sludge has to come out first.
First.
Okay,
Yep.
that's the
Before you
stuff
get
you
to the
don't
good water.
want. And then the good water starts to come, right? You got to
Right.
wait for all the sludge, all the rust, all the mud, all of it to come out. And then all of a sudden it's on. That's the compound effect.
Yep.
That's the compound effect. And so while you're saying nothing's working, nothing's happening, nothing's working, nothing's happening, I keep getting no after no after no, you should be tracking actually what your results are. Because if you're tracking your results and you're tracking how you're doing your program, you're tracking the results of your clients, and you're asking yourself, why am I not getting the results? What do I need to do? How do I make these shifts? And and then you turn around and you tweak your marketing because of those shifts that you need to make, then those things will happen for you. So if you have any questions about how to sell your course before you create it, let me know. Or if you have
Mhm.
other questions that you would need answered today, Dean and I are more than happy to answer them for you. But the
Mhm.
compound effect is a beautiful thing. So that's what happens in the beginning is you're going to feel like that, but you have to keep going and track your results. Track your clients' results. Sit down
Yep.
and determine what are the keystone markers that show you they are moving towards the goal, and show them that.
Yep.
Show them that they're making that, because this can come in the form of followers, engagement. These are like little tiny wins that show you're starting to move in the direction that
Awesome.
you need to go. So
Mhm.
when you are serving somebody, when you are marketing, it's 100% marketing before you have the program. You are actually teaching the program out there while you're
That's
marketing
right.
it. You're just
That's right.
giving them the bird's eye view of your
Yep.
services. That's all you're
That's it.
doing.
Yep.
So really, you need to figure out what are your first two steps in the program, and then after that, just frickin' serve it up.
Just serve it up,
That's
and
it.
you can tweak it 1,000 times. There's no limit to the tweaks. And the irony is that
I've
if you don't
tweaked
tweak,
mine a thousand.
okay,
I've tweaked mine 1,000 times because I get in there with them and I'm like, okay, there's this one thing that happens. It seems to be the one thing that happens all the time right here, like clockwork. On the
yeah,
third week, this happens. So
right,
how can we make that
precisely
happen for a moment, but move faster?
through it.
You
Yeah,
start
yeah,
noticing where your clientele gets stuck,
or prepare for it at least.
which
Yeah.
you
And so how?
don't notice when you're doing a digital course. You will not notice when they
No,
get
you'll
stuck
never
if you're
know that.
doing a digital
You'll never
course. You
know.
won't notice it.
So just out of curiosity, Leah, how do you track? What do you use for tracking with your clients, and how do
I've got
you
several
suggest?
different ways. Now I've got trackers for, when I'm in there doing my marketing, your lead tracker where you're watching your leads, you're seeing how they're doing out there. You're trying to decide if they're the person you need for you. So these are, observations that you make as it pertains to your services, because if they're already in some sort of momentum. So for example, my client who treats people with trauma, um, I told him, I said, you don't want the person who is not ready yet.
That's right.
That's where, he was thinking about hitting that person. I was like, no, you're under your ideal client. We do that. We tend
Yeah.
to go for the really low hanging fruit, and the really low hanging fruit are already rotted on the ground and have no
I was
money.
just going to say
And
that
so you
stuff's
don't
on the
want that
ground.
person that's not open minded enough to do your services yet.
That's right. Mentally
They,
prepared.
especially
Yep.
with people that are dealing with trauma and things like that, you
That's
have to
tough.
have that person that's like, I'm ready to make a change. I'm ready to make
She's
a change. And
been through
Sharon
the
said,
grief,
so if
the
I
anger, all
hear you
that stuff.
correctly, let's see, Sharon has a question,
Oh, let's
I
put that
think.
up there.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, most coaches tackle the same pain points, but the difference is the what, and most impactfully, the how is the difference. Tackle the same pain.
Sharon, I'm not sure if you're saying that the way
I
we'd
think what
like to
she's
hear it.
okay. So if you're talking about, okay, there's your problem. Okay, Sharon, tell me the problem you solve. Let's do it this way. Tell me the problem you solve in the comments.
Go for it, Sharon.
And yeah, so, and then to give me 3 pain points attached to the problem that you solve. Okay. And
We'll
while
give
you're
we'll give her
working
a
on
minute.
that, if you can't come up with 3 pain points, just tell me what you do. I need to know about your business.
Mhm.
But what it is that, yeah, there's generally what I found in most of the clients that I talk to, there's this basic general pain point of lack of confidence. Now, you can lack the confidence because you haven't lost enough weight, or you lack confidence because you're not clear on how to sell your product.
Right.
Right?
And there's a
Or
lot of
you lack
issues with that.
confidence because you've suffered this trauma in the past, but you'd like to change it. You don't know
There
how
you
to
go.
overcome
Yeah.
that.
Or they've
Yeah.
done what we've
So,
done, where they've gotten in a situation where they put a lot of time and effort into something that's not selling, and they're struggling with what to do next, and they're not sure. Do I recreate it? Do I tweak my messaging? What do I do to make this sell? And you
well,
got to
here's the other
understand.
thing is that we got to understand that a constant evolution that happens,
That's
and
right.
it doesn't ever stop. So
No.
I've got clients that have been in business for 10, 15 years, you know, so their evolution, they're like, well, oh gosh, we need to do a rebrand. Look, the best way to see these evolution, well, sometimes you do, depending on what you've done to yourself. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
a rebrand does not necessarily mean change your logo, change who you're
Right.
targeting. It could be
True
the
enough.
rebrand is more of, are you coming from a more professional standpoint versus what you came from before? And it's called the marketing avatars. It's the hero motif versus the rebel versus Dean is coming from more from the rebel approach. Okay, I help women gain confidence, direction, and balance to live a more fulfilled life. For what? Why?
We'll give her a chance to answer that, and then in the
Yeah.
meantime,
Think about
Chris
it.
is
Why?
saying bingo.
Bingo for what, Chris?
Yeah. Well, I've always experienced it. It takes us a few seconds to get to while the
Yeah, we
person's
do have
talking, they're
we have a
typing.
lag. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a lag here, but that's okay. That's all good.
That's okay.
Happy to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sharon, we'll be happy to hear your
Yeah,
version of this.
so we're working with Sharon today on her situation and
And
helping her
she's
get some more clarity. I help women that's the
first.
same
That was,
comment,
yeah.
right?
She hasn't
Okay.
added to it yet.
Here
Oh, here
she
she comes.
goes.
Oh no, he's at the
Oh
casino.
no,
Just kidding.
Chris is at the casino. So this is an
Thank you.
example of
Thank you for the humor, Chris.
multitasking that I do not support.
What table are you at? Are you at the craps table? Where are you? Are you doing the one-armed bandit? What are you doing?
Isn't that cute? I changed my name so I can fit my client base better.
Uh,
Okay, so now
we're
when
waiting for
you're
Sharon to say something
when
there.
you're trying to fit your client base better, it's not changing the name. It's more about speaking to them in your marketing. Okay, you got to speak their language.
Yeah.
Why? Because they live a life that others think they should not, following their own. Okay, so can you give me what is your niche? Do you know what her niche is, Dean?
She would explain it better than I would. She's still crafting it, so she's in a place where
She's still
she's kind of,
crafting it. So who
yeah.
is she targeting? That's what I
Um,
need to know, because this is very general in and of
mhm.
itself. So everybody wants to live the life and follow their passions, and um so maybe this will be easier. Maybe this
Yeah,
will be
go for it,
easier,
Sharon.
Sharon.
Yeah, go.
Sharon, who are you? What do you do? What are you? Tell me what you are.
Wish we could get her on here so she could speak. Maybe do you want me to
Yeah.
try to
Well,
get her
you
on?
could send her an invite,
Do you want
right?
to do you want to step up and speak with us, Sharon? I mean, yeah, Sharon. Do you want me to invite you
Free
in so you can
consult.
step on? It's a free consult if you want, Sharon. Here, I'll send the link to you, and you can just hop on. Hang
She
in
might
there.
have to give
I'm just
StreamYard
going to
permission, but
send
I
it to you.
doubt it. I don't think so. I had a friend that put the invite link in the comments going live on YouTube.
Did she?
Did
So I
you?
just sent you the link. Just click on the link in your messenger there, Sharon, and you should be able to join the group, join the call, and I'll let you on.
To see what she does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I need. Yeah, it would happen faster if she's okay with getting up here and letting us. It's a free coach call for
It is. Yeah.
the free coach. Chris, you can too if you want.
We'll get you all on if you
So
want.
if you want to pull yourself away from your busy schedule with bingo.
Right.
So Chris has had some of my services.
Yes. I see that. And I've welcomed her into the group recently. I'm happy to have him in.
Yeah, so right now what we're talking about is what it appears that the group is leaning towards is more niche definement is what I'm looking at. Yes, I'm changing my marketing too. I changed my website and my LinkedIn profile, and I keyed in on my client reviews that fit where I need to go. I realized that most of my clients and my best clients are business leaders, which just so happens to fit in my public speak. Okay, so business leaders, you need to speak their language. Why, start brainstorming. Why do business leaders need to reach do well in public speaking? So what Chris is he's an ESL teacher. He teaches English to non-native speakers, but what he's hitting are people that are fluent in English, not super fluent in English, but they lack the confidence because English is not their first language. So that's who he's helping. So why, you need to ask yourself, why do they want to speak well in public? And you might say something like, because they want the confidence to speak to people, but why do they need that confidence? Why do they need that confidence to speak to people in public? There's a reason why. It's not just so they can stand up and do public speaking. It could be because they want to become a leader in their industry and they want to reach more globally. They want to move out globally. They want to be heard globally. So therefore they need to learn English in order to talk to those English people.
That's right.
So there's so many different levels with different types of niches, especially when you have your life coaches, your transformation coaches. They're the ones that tend to have a little harder niche to define because you're talking about something that's a little bit abstract in some cases.
Very abstract.
So many times the way that you can make it more tangible is to say how long your program is. So if you don't have a program, how do you determine how long your program is?
Right.
So while you're doing those 3 types of pain points and how you address them, okay? So when you're doing those 3 types of pain points, let's say, okay, I'm going to do like lack confidence with marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is talk to you about your schedule. I'm going to talk about what you're doing right now in how consistent are you, find out where you've seen results, where do you want to market, because I follow the rule of 5 1s. I do not believe in going and jumping from social media to social media to social media. Focus on one for one full year. 1 year. I see too many people go, oh, well, Facebook isn't working after a month and then jump over to another one. It takes time for the algorithm to understand who you're looking for. And the more you sit and jack around with it, the more you sit and change it, the longer the algorithm takes to figure out who to send your way. Right? So you have to focus on one social media platform and really get good at it for 1 full year.
That's right.
And really get good at your one target audience and one way to convert them 1 full year. That's the way you have to do it. You have to do it that way. Otherwise, and this is not Dean or I's idea. This is somebody else's idea that you can find out there on YouTube. It's the rule of 5 1s. You can look it up if you need more clarity.
We got Sharon on the stream here if you want me to let her in. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Hey, Sharon. Welcome to the team.
Okay. All right, Sharon, tell me what it is that what is your business? Tell me about your business. Can she hear us?
Go ahead, Sharon. I think she can. Can you hear Sharon?
Yeah, it's just a delay. There's a delay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So go ahead. Tell Leah what you do.
What is your business? Yeah.
I'm a professional.
What did she say?
What was the last word? It did. Yeah, it broke off there. When you're professional, tell her the last word again, Sharon.
Coach.
A coach. What kind of coach? There's so many coaches.
Life coach.
Okay, so now there's a lot of life coaches as well, right? So as a life coach, what are you trying to help them with?
My strong point.
Is that where you're stuck?
Yeah, but as I've been working with Dean, my strong point is helping people change their perspective and their negative self-talk so that doesn't stop them from getting from where they are to where they want to be.
Okay, so it's more of a mindset coach. So now what who is your ideal client? Can you hold on 1 second? I'm so sorry, Dean. You can help her. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'll
have
go
to
ahead. Yep, go
find out
ahead.
what this is about.
No worries. She's got to take a quick call there, Sharon. But go ahead, work on your answer to your ideal client for when she comes back on there.
Well, like you and I,
I'm upstairs and talking with the client. Do you care to drop
like
it
you and
off
I
at
have
the
talked
house,
about,
or-
Dean, I've defined my ideal client
Leah Sparrow.
with the help of watching who's been coming to
All right,
me.
thank you.
Right.
And my ideal client really has been women who are women or moms who are, and most of them are single moms who are looking to have more of a balance in their life and live a healthier lifestyle and kind of take care of themselves as well as take care of others. But they've also had a lot of trauma in their life, so they're really negative selves. Um, you know,
Okay, so you're
that's
saying you're are you targeting single moms?
that's that's
That seems to be who's coming your way.
I'm working with Dean towards getting there, I believe. And I think Dean, you're smiling, but I think we're working towards getting there. But at the moment, it was just women or moms. But I think we're leaning towards the single mom type client.
Okay, so the only thing I'm a single mom. The only thing about single moms is I am a unicorn when it comes to single moms. Single moms don't have money, they don't have time. Okay, so you really have to think about that. Most single moms don't have money and they don't have time.
Well, that's
So
part of the reason why
what
that's part of the reason why I veered away from that, to be honest, because I'm a
yeah,
single
okay, that's
mom.
smart. But that doesn't mean you can't target women, right?
That's
So
right.
you're targeting the women that are why do they need this mindset? What are they trying to accomplish?
What are they trying to accomplish?
What is
There's
it
a
they're trying to, like for example, when a weight loss person comes to you, you're trying to lose weight. You're trying to lose X number of pounds, right? So why do they need to move outside of their comfort zone? What is it that they are up against that they feel a need to say, I've got to overcome this so that I can do what?
I say I've got to overcome this so that I can have better, like it's more of a time management thing because they feel most of my clients feel very pulled in many different directions and they
Okay.
don't feel like they have enough time to take care of themselves or to do the
Okay.
things that they need to do. They're too busy giving to everybody else.
Yes. Okay. So this is self care.
Yeah.
That's the problem you're solving is self care.
Yeah.
So you can say that I help women. Um, Now that's the key right there is you help women with self care so that they have time to care for themselves, right? That so that they can be the superhero in their life. They can care for themselves as well as their loved ones. But the key is what type of woman. And the type of woman that I would suggest, and Dean may have a different idea, but this is the woman that's going to have money, is corporate women.
Corporate.
Corporate women. The
Yeah.
corporate woman with a child, or the corporate woman with an empty house, and now she has to take care of her husband, and she's got this
No, you're
job.
speaking my language.
She's got this high-powered job. She has no time. She's being pulled this way and that. That's just what you said, right? And corporate women, they work 9 to 5. They work hard, and they never have time for themselves.
That's right.
So what you're talking about is you're talking about a system that helps them bring more time for themselves, creating those morning and evening, those AM and PM routines, so that they can have that time for themselves. And the reason
Mhm.
why they need that self care for themselves is so that they can have the energy, the know how, and basically the love to give to the people around them. So they can have all the energy. Corporate
Yeah.
women are going to
So,
have the money that
mhm.
to pay you too. And they're
Okay.
going to be willing to do it. They're going to be more willing. So what I've found is that when you've got a corporate woman or a woman that is, and you're not going now by niching down like that, you're not saying no to somebody like me who was a single mom,
Right.
and all of that. Because I have a corporate mindset.
That's right.
Okay. So I
Right.
have a business mindset. So that's, you're speaking to the woman that has the mindset, but you're naming the corporate woman to make it clear for the marketing people out there. You don't exclude people. Most of my clientele are established entrepreneurs, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to take on a newbie every once in a while, as long as they fit what I'm looking for in a client. So that's what you need to do is you need to really sit down and define who this woman is, what you want from that person.
Yep.
Imagine working with that person for 8 to 12 weeks and what would be the nightmare? What would be the dream about that person? What do you want from them? Because you are only a guide. They're going to have to be coachable. They're going to have to be willing to make a change. They can't expect a genie in a bottle moment. You
That's
can't
right.
just kind of ting, you've got all the time in the world. It's not going to
But
happen.
expect the Valley of Doom, though. Better expect that.
They have to be kind, they have to be friendly, and all of that, but they also have to be willing to do the work. So
right.
in other words, when you're looking for this person, if you're looking at a profile and things like that, and you're looking for somebody to serve, look and see if they're actually implementing some of the things you're already talking about and helping them with. Because once they're in momentum, you can make more of a change if they're already trying.
Yes. Yes. Does that make
Okay.
sense, Sharon?
Hmm?
Does that make sense, Sharon?
Oh, yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Good.
Because I think, Dean, I think that one of the things that I've been saying to you in our coaching is that I have learned that being self, being self, being selfish basically is not, or taking care of yourself is not selfish.
That's
It's
right.
one of the most selfless things you can do because you
It's
have more to
also
give others.
it's also the number one income generating thing in your business. If you take a moment to do nothing, your brain will go, that's what you need to do. I
Right.
mean, I've
Right.
had moments when I'm out with my horses and
Well,
doing my
to
thing
be
where
to
I've
be
had more
honest,
ideas that have created more income in my business than anything else.
100%.
So you're right. It's very important to step away. So I'm going to do something with you, Sharon, if you don't mind, Dean.
No, go right ahead.
I know this is your client. I don't scout
That's okay.
clients, by the way, boys
That's
and
okay.
girls.
You are authorized. We are meant to be a
um,
team.
I'm trying to find the window that I want to share. Okay, so is it letting me share, or has it asked you if I can share?
Let me see here. Where do I do that?
Oh, it may be in the background. Do you see it down there below us?
Present, I think, extra camera video.
It's like a
Share
little white
screen.
screen.
Share screen. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Let me see if
Should
I
be
can
in
get
your
it to open.
backstage.
Hang in there.
Where I'm sharing something.
There we go. It finally loaded
There we
up.
go. Okay. Oh,
No,
okay.
I clicked it.
So,
Let's just come back in here. Go for it.
okay.
This
So
is
you
all
get
new
to
to me. I've
watch
never
my.
done this before. I love it.
This is. I know. I was like, God, I hope this works. So there you go. We're experimenting with you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got these. I said I could draw. Why are you not letting me draw? There we go. We got these. You know what this is? This is a Venn diagram. This is my ability to draw, boys and girls. Now,
With a mouse.
this is Sharon. Okay. This is Sharon. All right. And Sharon, you are a life coach, right? But what
Mm-hmm.
you're helping with is time and self care, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we break it down, it's time for self care. And over here, we have corporate women. I'm probably not even spelling that right, but that's corporate women.
Yep.
I get what you mean. Don't worry.
So
This is
now they are overwhelmed, right?
Yep.
No time. And they feel, how did they feel? They feel taken for granted. What else?
Yeah,
What would you say?
they feel what's the word I'm looking for? They feel
Undervalued.
unvalued. Yeah. Undervalued. Yeah, that was what I was looking for.
Okay. So now the reason why they're overwhelmed and the reason why they feel undervalued is because they have no time. Okay. So the problem that you're
Mhm.
solving is time. You're solving the
Yeah.
time aspect of it. Now you might want to make a different word for the time aspect of it. It may be creating a life that allows for self-care,
Mhm.
indulgences, abundance, and joy.
Right.
Yep.
Mhm.
These are words that you can use to tell somebody what you're doing. So
Mhm.
when we do that, we have the aspect of self-care, is time for self-care,
Mhm.
Right. Hey,
right?
you're getting better at that
So,
writing.
wow, isn't it pretty? Okay, now we have your 3 pain points. They're overwhelmed, right? Is that one of them?
Yep.
Overwhelmed. I'm just going to do OW. And then we have undervalued, right? What's the
Mhm.
other one? What's another one?
Well, originally we had. I think when Dean and I worked it out, we were saying that they're lacking confidence. But if they're corporate women, I'm pretty sure they have
Oh
to
no,
have
you can
somewhat.
lack confidence at any level.
You
You
sure
can
can.
lack
All right.
There's
So
See,
confidence.
that is your mindset getting you right there, thinking, well, if they're corporate women, they got to be confident. They're confident in
but
their
only in
business,
right.
but they're not confident at home.
Yeah, I get you.
Or they're confident in their business at their level, but they're not confident
Yeah,
at the next level.
right,
Gotcha.
right. There's
So
always a lack
confidence.
of confidence in somewhere.
Yeah.
So then it would be confidence or self doubt, which are pretty for me
Let's do
interchangeable.
self-doubt. Okay.
Okay.
So now this self-care and time, let's take a look at this. So this is I help corporate women find, oh no, let's change that to create
I was just going to say.
Create.
Yep.
abundance
Mm-hmm.
through where they create abundance through.
Through. Well, would it be that would they create abundance by lessening those things? Would you put that in your statement or no?
By lessening what thing? By no. What we're
Lessening the
going to do is
overwhelm.
I help corporate women create abundance through a carefully
Where did you go?
planned. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yep.
Through a carefully planned self-care routine.
The routine is key. If you don't
Yeah,
have a
I like
routine,
that.
you're skipping all over the place without a routine.
Yep.
Now, that's something you can work with a little bit. You might want to give it a little bit more pretty, but that's what you're doing. You're helping corporate women create abundance through a carefully planned self-care routine. Now, we might want to change self-care routine to something else. What does a self-care routine mean to you?
A self-care routine means making myself, to me it means making myself a priority, um and not feeling guilty about it.
Okay, so now we're helping corporate women create abundance through a carefully planned routine that brings confidence and awareness around self-care. So you might want to break down the wordage a little bit, but that's something to start with. That's what you're doing. Do
Yeah.
you know how long you want your program to be? How many weeks can you do this in?
I've thought about it, and I've gauged it based on the women that I'm working with now. Probably I'd say for me it has to be. I've thought about it, and it would be at least 12 weeks, maybe
Well,
more.
okay, so think about this. 12 weeks is plenty long.
It is.
It's plenty long.
Okay.
But if they don't get to where you in that 12 weeks, you can get them to X, right? You know
Right.
this, which means that they can sign back up on with you to continue
To
this
me
journey?
personally, my first thought, I'm so, Dean knows this, I'm so coached out. No, not referring to Dean, but I've got so many coaches that I've been. So for me, my first response, my first thought to your answer was it should be 6 months.
Then if you do that 6 months, do you really have you gotten people to sign on with the 6 months?
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, Dean knows I'm not. I'm in a place where we're redesigning everything. I basically came on with Dean to not start over, but start over.
Right.
So
Right.
so
So what you're looking at is you need to name how long you want that program to be. So while you're mapping it out, like I said before, with those 3 pain points, each one of those very general ways that you help people in the steps that you take them, it might be, take a look at where they are now, make a plan. And then after that, it's going to be like, implementing a morning and evening routine,
mhm.
finding time, doing exercise routine, whatever it is in your program that you're doing, embracing meditational techniques. What
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not
for
sure
me
what your program does, but
it would be like meditation, gratitude, journaling, exercise.
okay, okay. So now,
Exercising.
so you see that those things, what can happen many times is you can get them set up with getting a very clear AM PM routine, and that may be their biggest hurdle to overcome in those 12 weeks. I would
Mhm.
hope not, but there it is. They
Yeah,
have
me
to
too.
establish an AM PM routine, for example, but they haven't really gotten into some of the deeper stuff that you talk about. Then you can say you can renew with me
Right.
to go further. You've come this far. I have so much more to share with you. If you renew with me, we can continue on a monthly type basis, or you can pay out for 3 months, or you can pay me for 12 months. At that point, your program becomes a subscription.
Yep.
I like the
You're
way you
selling
think.
a package that's an introduction to what you can do for them.
It's
That's right.
similar to the way Dean thinks.
There you go. And that's why I was more than
Well,
happy
we
when you.
talked to each other before we decided to do this.
That's right. We collaborated.
So,
But all
do you think
Well,
like
but
but
I
it,
I very much so appreciate you bringing me on and helping me out. I mean, I know
absolutely,
it means a lot because
absolutely.
I was born to do this, um, and I just haven't been able. And Dean knows my story. Dean's in the valley of doom with me right now, and helping me pull myself out. And I've come a long way since I've
You
started
have,
with Dean, honestly. But this means a lot because the funny part is, Leah, I think it was you who said a little while ago that you know one of your clients was being told by a coach not to do something, and Dean's gonna laugh right now, so I'll wait till he's done drinking. But when
thank
I
you.
you're welcome. When I first became a coach, when I was going for my certification, what I really wanted to be was a mindset coach because one of my strongest assets is being able to take negative self-talk and reframe it, and just
Mhm.
knowing that perspective is everything from what I've experienced in my life and personally and professionally. And I was told by my mentor coach, do not be a mindset coach, do not be a transformational coach, because there's too many people out there doing it. So I find this really refreshing and exciting and also kind of funny that we're in a way bringing me back to where I was originally going to begin anyway. Because yes,
Well,
I'm doing
that
it.
what that is what you experience is overthinking. Okay. And
Mhm.
yes, many times what we do is we compartmentalize what we're thinking. I've been there. Like when I said, I'm going to take on the higher level, $1 million coaches, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
When I decided to
Yep.
do that. Woohoo.
And how did that work out for you?
Oh, it's still working out for me. Right,
There you
right.
go. Right?
But
Perfect.
but the thing is that when I first started doing it, I started like, well, okay, I've got to change everything. And then as I started messing around with it, I was like, it's the same thing. It's just a different level of speech.
That's it.
Okay. So I teach the same thing to my startups, my baby beginners who have been doing this. They have, like you are what I would consider a startup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then my $1 million client, I speak a different language, but we're addressing the same thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sales. So I don't have to change my message. I just have to be clear on who I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to change my services or my program or anything. I just have to be clear on who I'm talking to. So when you if you're going to speak to corporate women, you can't have the same language that, a single mom who's raising a kid and works at McDonald's is going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
both women, strong women going through some hell, but you're not targeting the woman who's working for McDonald's. You're targeting the woman who wants to be or is corporate level, high producing woman.
Yep.
Someone
Mm-hmm.
who is empowered already in one aspect of her life, but feels like she's drowning in another.
That's right. Yeah. No balance.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're going to speak to that. And that's why I told you to figure out the problem that you solve. And the problem that you solve is time, more time for yourself, more time to do those self-care activities, because you know that those self-care activities will improve your confidence, will improve bring you more empowerment, and improve your ability to serve the people that you love and care for and you want to be there for. Like, for example, I'll give you something, this may be something for you to work off. When I decided to run my business, I was a single mom. And I was a single mom when my child turned 3 years old. I had a disease and I couldn't work. And I had to go back to work. I was on disability. I had to go back to work because my ex-husband decided that he was going to go off with somebody else and leave me and this toddler child with no money.
Oh my God, your story sounds so much like mine. Go ahead.
So I was like, I need to go find a job. So I went back to radio, which was a radio station that had like 4 or 5 radio stations. This is a corporate situation. I'm working with them. I'm doing my thing. And then all of a sudden I said, I want to be able to be my kids living that horrible single mom life.
Yep.
The latchkey kid coming home to nobody
Yep.
home.
Yep.
Somebody else has to pick him up from school. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
So what do? Everything is all about Matthew, all about my child. How am I going to build a business? How am I going to build a business so I can go to see where my mind is going, so I can go to all of his basketball games, so I can do all of those things.
Yep.
Well, now that I've created a business of my very own from home, when I first started this, I was like, how can I get done with this so I have more time for me? That's when I started to realize I need a better system in place so that I have time for my business, time for myself, and time for my baby boy.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Who trumps all.
Yep.
Right? And that's who you're speaking to. It's the person that's gone, I need to find a way that I can sit and read my book, where, I just want time to freaking,
Go to the
my
gym,
favorite word, just fucking drink a glass of wine and read a book.
Yep.
I mean, it's that basic and simple,
No,
but it is so hard to find that time.
Just really quick, if Dean doesn't mind. So
go ahead.
I decided to become a coach when my son was 9. He was diagnosed with school avoidance and severe anxiety. And I had been going through a divorce from hell, had an ex-husband similar to what you described. Mm-hmm. So I was left to deal with, I couldn't leave a 9-year-old home alone, nor did I want to leave a 9-year-old home alone.
Right.
And nor did I want him being picked up by other people all day long. Right. So I had to shift to something that would allow me to work from home, help others, help myself, and raise my family. So are slightly different, but very similar. But that is why I do what I do.
And I would, you're going to go through some imposter syndrome, because I've worked with life coaches, and life coaches come in different forms. And they go through imposter syndrome more than anybody else, especially when they're trying to build their business, because they're like, I can't even find time for myself, and I'm trying to teach this person how to create time for themselves. Oh my God, how can I even teach this person? But the thing is that you need to tell your story, because the fact of the matter is, finding time for self-care is, something that is a constant for, especially for women, because Dean, men seem to be able to find time for self-care easier than women, because women it's ingrained in them to serve others.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. We're caregivers.
Yeah. And so we actually have a hard time asking for help. And ask. So in other words, for you, it might be a suggestion to let the corporate women know, hey, hire the damn guy, get your groceries delivered, for God's sake.
It's funny that you said all this, because Dean can attest to, this is where I am evolving right now. I have really stepped in. Before I met Dean, I had really stepped into my own of making myself a priority and committing to myself and finding time for myself, because I was losing myself in everybody else's stuff and I was running out of energy and steam. And I finally realized that, taking time for myself was the least selfish thing I could do, because it gave me more energy to do more for the people that I wanted to help and the people that I cared about. Yeah. So everything that you're saying right now, Leah, is pretty much where I've been for the last 6 to 8 months and going forward. So, and I feel like with Dean's help and going forward, I don't feel like I have as much imposter syndrome anymore, because even listening to what you're saying, I really believe what I'm saying. And I believe that the more I can help people, women specifically, and corporate women, and this includes women who want to be entrepreneurs like you and I, who had to kind of, for reasons, make their own business, to realize that it is going to take a lot out of you, but it's still very important that you make time to go to the gym, or you make time to have that glass of wine. I just revisited doing adult coloring books this weekend, and it was like, because I find that so cathartic and therapeutic. I get lost in it, but it's finding that time that matters so much, Yeah. And it was through putting my son first that I realized that I had to at first, but I also realized by doing that I had to put myself first.
Well, what's so crazy is the entrepreneurial journey is fraught with mindset stuff. There's a book that I often recommend to people, and it's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks.
Mm-hmm.
It's about limiting beliefs, and this is something that we don't even recognize sometimes,
right,
that is happening to us, because it has to do with our own programming from our childhood and throughout our life. And so the Big Leap is about where we actually put a ceiling on ourselves. So if we've been working for corporate world or the regular 9 to 5, there's a ceiling on our pay.
Yeah.
There's a ceiling on how far you can go.
That's right.
And with entrepreneurship, there is no ceiling.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times when we go out there, this is common for a lot of entrepreneurs. You go out there and you make a win, right? And you're doing great. And then all of a sudden it stops. Why? It's your limiting belief. It's actually a subconscious thing that tells you he's not supposed to go. No, that's this is your ceiling. Why are you here? Get back down here. And it's back again to where our little reptilian brains, it's outside of our comfort zone. It's a growth. It's that sort of thing. But the limiting belief thing is a really interesting thing, and it attaches itself in all aspects of our life. And I think it will really help with you and your coaching, because it's not just about making sales. It's also about relationships. Yeah. We put the limiting beliefs on ourselves in relationships in every aspect of our life. And these limiting beliefs are what stop us from keeping the momentum going.
Chris has a question for you, Leah.
Okay, so my highest paid client, he is worth over $1 million, and he has 10 people on his team.
There you have it. Does that answer your question, Chris?
He made $150K over Christmas break.
Yep.
And his niche, this guy is a dentist. He teaches people how to do a specific type of procedure.
Just that one procedure?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yep. Dentists do make good money, but they got to work for it. And they don't get a lot of time off.
Well, he's wanting to move away from his practice and teach this procedure. So he's doing research and things like that. And
Good.
but he has a digital program,
Oh, beautiful.
and he also has a face-to-face. So there's a moment, there's a situation there where he has discovered that the face-to-face is really great, but he's got people that can't come to the face-to-face.
Yeah.
So he has the digital offering.
There you go. There you go. And this is the way it's gone in the last little while. There's been a lot of nuance changes in the last 2 or 3 years because of what we've been through with the pandemic and all the related mandates and all the different stuff that's happened. All those the gives, the takes, the losses, the gains. It's been a big challenge for all entrepreneurs because a lot of people don't understand that now is the time to start a business, not to wait. And a lot of people don't realize that when things are tough is when people need the help more than when things are good. And it's ironic that people don't understand that. And I find that a lot with the people that I talk to. I've spoken to, for example, a fellow that I worked with a while ago. He was making, what was he making? He was making $2.5 million a year as a salary in a corporation. And he was their biggest salesperson. And he asked, his son got really sick with cancer. And he asked for a month off. And he was told flat out, without any hesitation, no. Think about that. The guy's making all that money, and they won't give him any time off to watch over his family. Can you believe that? That's insane.
Yeah.
And why he went and became.
Hi, Brian.
Oh, you know him? There you go.
No, I don't know him. I just
okay.
hi, Brian. I guess that's a hi, Brian.
But that's the irony is there's a lot of these corporate people, and Sharon, this is something that you should be aware of. They're there for the money, not for the love of their job. In many cases, some of them do love their job, but there's many people that are there simply because it's the paycheck, not the people.
Yeah.
And the irony is that as soon as they start to go for some form of family-oriented situation that takes them away from that corporate spot, corporation's going to squawk and not let them go. And I've seen this more than once. And I actually had it happen to me. I wasn't making that much in a year, but I was in a leadership position in a corporation, and I just said, you know what, you guys can't do this to me. I will not accept this.
See, this dentist in particular, he's making that much in his digital course stuff, not his practice.
Oh, cool.
This is his business side.
Yeah.
He also sells the instruments. He has the patented instruments and the whole 9 yards on his stuff. So he's been doing this a while, and he's at an age now where he's moving away from the practice, and he wants this to be his thing.
Yeah.
And that's the practice is what he tells me is what his business, the digital course and the online and face-to-face, it's basically a school that he's doing, it's an online school. That's how much he makes in that. He does not include his practice income into it. Nice.
And he has time for that. So he's really good at time management.
Well, he has a team of 10.
Oh, well, that's true. That's very true. So that takes a lot of the weight off. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. So he still has patience that he accepts. So this is where, we have to realize, this is what I find is wonderful about working with some of these more established ones, is because they show you that, many times, like marketing coaches, for example, don't want to hire on a marketer to do it for them sometimes,
right.
For example, or even, like a life coach doesn't want to have somebody else do something for them that they feel like, well, I should be doing that because that's my thing, right? But the thing is that what I have discovered is I would much rather have a team who understands. You want to be able to sell your own product and know your own business. Because if you can't do it, you can't tell your team how to do it, period.
Right.
100%. I've worked for a corporate world where the owner only knew half of what his business is, and it was like a nightmare to work for the man. So you have to know all aspects of your business before you hire somebody on. But when you do that, you have to take it from a standpoint of, this gives me more time to work with my clients and more time for me.
100%. That's awesome. Yeah, so we're well over an hour.
Yes, we are well over an hour. We have talked your ears off today.
So I'm going to let you go, Sharon, so that I can finish up with Leah, if you don't mind. Thank you so much.
No, not at all. I just want to take the time to thank you both very much for this. It was very informative and very helpful. So I appreciate it more than I would ever be able to express in words.
Oh, you are so welcome.
Happy to
and
help.
Good luck.
Yep.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon, Sharon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there you go,
Okay.
dear girl. So now we're going to talk about your links. I'm gonna put the links up on the screen and let you just quickly talk about them so everybody knows what's going on. I think that's your website.
That has a freebie at leahsparrow.com. It's good for people that are starting out, want to know what is the one thing I need to do every day to increase my revenue in my
There you go.
business.
Beautiful. And then we have your Facebook.
Yeah,
Which is
you can
obvious.
follow me there.
Yep.
And
then
that's my page.
that's
Yep.
your page. Yep. And then of course this is the beauty that you want to share with us is the this one here, the 30-minute session to gain clarity with three steps. So I'm thinking, well, let's take that off the ticker here. Let me just change that around a little bit. I'll take that off the ticker and I'll put it right up properly. Now let's try this because it was kind of hard to follow as a ticker.
Yeah, free 30-minute session to gain there on your next 2 steps. You can also go to my Facebook profile. The link, if you click on my cover, it's there, and I believe it's in the info as well. You'll find that link on my profile.
Beautiful, beautiful, awesome, Leah. And I really nice to do those couple of new things with me today. Have a new person on and do the screen share. That's all new stuff for me on StreamYard. So thank you so much for
you're welcome.
Part of that.
I took the day off. I took this week off. I was like, I'll just focus on Dean's thing this week. So yeah.
You're awesome. Thank you. And it was a great interview. And thank you so much, Sharon, for joining us. And thank you for the comments from the various individuals that chose to do that. Chris and Brian James and you, Sharon, and of course,
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly. He
gave you a shout out earlier.
He did, yeah. And I was kind of hoping to get a chance to get in there to highlight his comment. There it is there.
There he is, and a Facebook user.
Yeah, and not only that, but everybody that shows up with a name here actually click the StreamYard link so that we'd know who they are.
Yeah.
And I apologize, Brian, for not having an opportunity, but I did reach out to him while you were talking to Sharon, and I just gave him a quick blink on Messenger while you and Sharon were talking. So that is what it is, and that's how this great thing of technology is. And StreamYard is a wonderful thing. If you guys find yourselves interested in getting a StreamYard account, this is what you will end up with the paid account. This free account, I can't remember how it works, but
the free account just doesn't let you stream across, and it doesn't have as much storage for your recordings.
Okay, all right. So I can get 8 different streaming locations here.
Previously, and I found out, and it leaves its logo up in the corner. I found a way to get rid of that.
Okay. Cool. Nice. Oh, come on. You can afford to pay for StreamYard. What are you talking about?
I do pay for StreamYard, but I was working. I had to. Back in the day, somebody asked me to help them with their videos on YouTube, and she said, "Can you get rid of that logo?" And I was like, "Yeah, pink," and just put her logo on top of theirs.
There you go. That's as simple as that. But yes, thank you so much for being here with me today, Leah. I really appreciated your time, and I was very, very happy to allow you to, or invite you, or authorize you to help out Sharon. Because I can't. You've got new perspectives. I have my perspective, and the two of us working together.
Well, it's not like she's going to run away from you now. No. Okay, I'm going to go talk to Leah. No. Let's just
and even
let's
if
just
she
all
did,
help
I would
one
understand.
another.
No, I'm not worried about you scalping any clients from me or vice versa. And thank you for allowing me.
I just want to see people succeed. That's all.
That's it. And thank you so much for letting people, or being happy with people from your tribe or family and ending up in my group. I appreciate that. And between me and you, we will serve them ultimately.
Sooner or later, we'll help you.
Right? Somewhere along the line, you are going to be so powerfully led on. Us just or helped. I shouldn't say led on because that isn't what I meant. But thank you so much, Leah. I really enjoyed it, and we will keep in touch, dear girl.
This is marketing at its finest, boys.
That's so awesome.
Thank you, Dean.
Yes, indeed. So just hang in there just for a second before we walk away. I just wanted to let everybody know that they can reach out to you or me at any time and be there for us. So hang in there. I'm just going to end the broadcast, Leah. And bye, everybody. Thank you for being here.